Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You know that we say here in the great countries, free countries of the world, the countries, that innocent until proven guilty, right? So that's the way it goes. We have a due process, which is some people bring a claim, an accusation, allegation. You go in front of a court, you have the prosecutor's office bringing the charges and so on. You got a defense defending, counter arguments, counter evidence and so on. And you have a judge who's going to determine if indeed that occurred or did not and distribute justice based on the evidence, attacks or prosecution and defense. That's how. And then until the judge says, okay, or whatever you got over there, you got a court of your own peers, whatever. Until a decision, a conviction was written down and issued, you are innocent. Now you can appeal that and maybe you can reverse it. But until a judge says, yes, guilty, you are innocent. Clear? And not only says, he has to sign it, stamp and issue it. Only then. Now when he said you're guilty, we can say that. No document, no guilty yet. So I would like people in the world to think the same way when they are going to debate if Russia is considered an aggressor state. Obviously, a lot of people say, what? Okay, talking about Emil. Obviously, Russia is an aggressor state because it invaded unprovoked a sovereign independent country of Ukraine. What are you talking about? Well, I can have my own opinion, idiotic or genius, and the same you can do. Okay, you're not going to throw me in jail for my opinions, and I would not throw you in jail for your opinion. Well, we have here a court, International Court of Justice, called ICJ. Okay, and they determined that Russia is not an aggressor state. So a judge, international Court of Justice is UN recognized, not the Court of Justice from The Hague, the Europeans. No, not that one. No. Not the one that issued an arrest warrant for Putin. No, that's an international club. Okay, we can form an international club and we can say whatever we want with no jurisdiction of the non-signatory, that person. Means that, hey, we're going to arrest you. You have no jurisdiction. I'm not a signatory. You. All right. In this case, ICJ, it has jurisdiction. United Nations body. So let me show you here this article where, very surprisingly, this court rejects Ukraine's claim to recognize Russia as aggressor state, Russian Foreign Ministry said. Sputnik. Yesterday, he's dead and gone. So this is February 2nd. ICJ reject Ukraine's claim to recognize Russia as aggressor state, Russian Foreign Ministry said. So that means the judge doesn't agree with that, claim. It's a judge. It's not an opinion. So let's move on and see what else. Beautiful. Chandeliers. Excellent. Look at that. Look at those arches. Now that's civilization, man. Right there. Look beautiful. Man, get rid of these guys here. Just move on. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, rejected Kiev's claim to recognize Russia as an, and I'm quoting, aggressor state, and the Donetsk People's Republic, DPR, and Lugansk People's Republic, LPR, as, quote-unquote, terrorist organizations, the Russian Foreign Ministry said on Wednesday. Now, if they rejected that, that means that any organization, I'm not talking about a person, an organization, let's say the US or a newspaper, who would use aggressor state Russia invaded or aggressor, that is incorrect, they could be sued. Defamation, whatever. No. If I say it, well, I'm an idiot. I can have that opinion. I'm just like that. But a guy, an organization, a media outlet, a foreign ministry, now that's wrong because a court decided, not any kind of court, that no, that's not a terrorist organization. Russia is not an aggressor state. So wherever you're going to find out, I'm I think, written in the newspaper, especially in the Ukrainian paper. But hey, I understand Ukrainians are upset. The problem is they should be upset more looking to the west than to the east. That's my assessment, because problems started from there, not from there. They were over there as they were, but those guys triggered the whole shit. And you think you're fighting for your country and for your nation and for your history and for your traditions. If you really want to do that, you should tell those guys to back the fuck off and let you leave. Get rid of your guys in charge of your nation, and then create your own destiny with all the countries around you. Not, oh, I don't like you, I'm not going to talk to you. Like in a kindergarten, in a playground. I don't like Gigi, I'm not going to play with you. I'm going to take my toys and go home. Fuck you. That's a big, big, wide world over there without you. Do you think we're going to be crying? Narcissistic behavior. So here we have, earlier in the day, the ICJ rejected most of Ukraine's claims against Russia under the International Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination in Crimea. Court President Joan Dongu said, and I'm quoting now, the International Court of Justice did not follow Kiev's whim and refused to recognize Russia as an aggressor state. The court also rejected Ukraine's insinuations that the DPR and LPR are allegedly terrorist organizations, the statement said. Now, I don't like this. I don't like the way, I have to be straight. I don't like the terms used here. Refused to recognize Russia, I don't know, did not follow Kiev's whim. Is that a proper, objective statement? I think maybe Kiev's claim, whim is like so that's not a professional, I would say, word used, is wrong word here, I would say. Refused and aggressed, and the court rejected insinuations. Again, you should put claims or statements, or insinuation again is a negative connotation. So I want to say that this international court is upset with Al Capone, therefore it punishes Ukraine. Kiev punishes in a way like that. Kiev hoped to back up its demands for the transfer of Russian assets frozen in the West and the introduction of international restrictions against Russia with the court claim, the ministry added. So this guy said, well, because Russia is an aggressor state, then we can freeze the assets, and their profits that generated by the assets in the West should be given to us, so we can build houses in I don't know, Monaco or wherever Zelensky would like. Ukraine filed a lawsuit with the ICJ in 2017, that's a long one, accusing Russia of violating international conventions of anti-terrorism and racial discrimination over actions in Donbass and Crimea. That's a beautiful building. Yeah. The ICJ found that Russia had breached the anti-discrimination treaty by, I'm quoting, the way in which it has implemented its educational system in Crimea after 2014 with regard to school education in the Ukrainian language, and rejected all other claims. So they say, well, you guys discriminate against the Ukrainian population in Crimea because of the language in education. Something that the Ukrainians are doing at the moment, not only with the Russian population, but with Hungarian population, Romanian population. Why do you think the Hungarians are upset in Zakarpattia? That's one of the main reasons. Well, Hungary has other reasons as well. The Hague-based court also found that Russia had faithfully so this is also in Hague, just so you know, as is the other one, ICC, International Criminal ICC. Is the other one, fulfilled its obligations to cooperate in the fight against terrorism financing, including the obligation to identify and block funds used to finance terrorism. The ICJ declined to rule on Kiev's accusations of Russia's alleged responsibility for the downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine in 2014. Well. So we have these guys said that. Now it's up to you to agree with that or disagree with that. You can have an opinion, but this is what they said. I want to look at the ICC, International Court of Justice. I want to look at this one. All right, here it is. And I'm going to look at ICC, International Court of Justice. This is important right here. The International Court of Justice, also called the World Court, is the only international court that adjudicates general disputes between nations. The only. And gives advisory opinions on international legal issues. It is one of the 6 organs of the United Nations, UN, and is located in The Hague, Netherlands. So I'm going to look at ICC and see if they have that. I think it's ICC, isn't it? Can't, let me find it. Yeah, isn't that the International Criminal Court? Let me just find it. Jesus Christ. What a retard. This one's right here. All right, here it is. Well, here it is. The ICC is distinct from the International Court of Justice, an organ of the United Nations that hears disputes between states. You got it? It's an intergovernmental organization, International Court of Justice, a criminal court, I'm sorry, an international tribunal seated in The Hague, Netherlands. It is the first and only permanent international court with jurisdiction to prosecute individuals in international crimes of genocide, crimes, humanity, war crimes, and crimes of aggression. That the ICC is distinct from the International Court of Justice, an organ of the United Nations that hears disputes between states. All right, so it's a little bit different, and if you are a United Nations member state, then you go under the ICJ. If you're not a member of the ICC, International Criminal Court, then you're not under their jurisdiction, which is a lot of states. You can have here the map. Let me just do it like this. And they show you here what states are signatory, what states are not. Okay, you can look here at the whatever this is, orange or whatever shed color, the same United States of America, together with Russia, and the same shed, and probably Israel over there, I'm guessing, right? And you got the red ones is not a state party, not a signatory, the red ones. Turkey is not, Belarus is not. Now, Ukraine is a signatory that has not ratified, so actually not. It didn't ratify it. But these guys like United States of America and let's say, how do you call it? Russia, signatory that subsequently withdrew its signature. So they're not. So again, don't call them an aggressor state anymore. I know people will do it anyway. But I'm just saying, if we are to use our values, due process, innocent until proven guilty, correct? Correct. So use the same thing if you want to be just. You might not like the outcome of the court, but it's a different story. We don't like many things. And what are you going to do? Go and appeal. If we are to be civilized. Otherwise, do what the Americans are doing. They don't like it. They go in and they everybody and they take over. And they put their garbage over there. And then they're going to reach a different outcome. Hey, they are an aggressor state. See? The new guys, the other guys were bad. These guys are good. Why? But they're our guys. And the same thing happened in Ukraine in 2014. They didn't like what Yanukovych was doing. The president elected, democratically elected, legitimate. Move out, bring our weasels. We do whatever we need to do. So these are the good guys, not that guy. Well, forget about the coup. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.